Samach Gimel, Amar Aleph, and the top 63. We're talking about the 7 cleansing agents that could cleanse a stain that has blood. Mentioned yesterday, Chaim told us that it's brought out that it's a machlekes rishonim if it's dealing with Paris or also Lebaila, also for the husband. So here we start off with one of the cleansing agents. The first one is roik tafel, samach gimel, tasteless saliva. Tafel means bland. So Tana was taught in a Bais. The Mishnah says, what is considered roik tafel? The Mishnah actually asked that itself. And the Mishnah said someone that didn't taste anything. So the Bais says, the Bais explains, and it adds in an extra word. Hasn't tasted anything from evening. Savar Rav Papa Kamei de Rava Lemeimar. So Rav Papa is a student of Rava. Papa is a student of Rava. Right here, towards the end of the Amiraim. And many times Rav Papa speaks, we're not even sure if it's really Rav Papa or Rava. Amar Rava v'ikema Rav Papa. So here it says that Rav Papa thought to say in front of Rava, Command Amri, what does this mean? That he says that he hasn't tasted from evening. Laitam midi bu'orta. Orta means evening. That means that the person hasn't eaten since yesterday, since the evening. It means that all night he's been fasting. Amalei Rava says to his student, to Rav Papa, Miktani ba'erev. Does it say that he didn't eat in the evening? Mi ba'erev katani, from the evening. La fuki hecha de kadam v'achal. In the evening he could have eaten. We're talking about that he didn't eat from the evening. That means he didn't eat in the morning. In the morning he didn't eat. When he woke up. Amar, this is, let's see. Is this, the kadam sounds like before the day. Let's see. Amar Rabbi Bar Chana, Amar Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Bar Chana says the name of Rabbi Yechanan. Rabbi Bar Chana, we always, what's wrong?
I'm going way to New York today.
Oh, you wanted to check it? So let's see.
It also couldn't get the volume. He can't on his own. I listened to you with it.
Let me see.
Hit the audio.
Let's see.
Raise my hand.
What's the sound now? Let me see. I don't know why. Can you play with it? Can you check it out? I don't know the Daniel heard me before. I assume it's working.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
That's Daniel. Daniel sound right?
Yeah, I'm on. I can hear you, no problem.
Should I talk so you can hear? Yeah, well. So, Rabbi Bar Chana, we always explain that Chana was Rab's father's brother. So it was really his first cousin once removed, Rabbi Bar Chana. We think that Rabbi Bar Chana's father was also Rabbi. Because in the Gemara we have a Rabbi Bar Chana, and we also have a Rabbi Bar Chana. I think that maybe his father was Rabbi Bar Chana, and it was just Bar, the son of Chana. So he says in the name of Rabbi Yechanan, this is very common for him to say in the name of Rabbi Yechanan, he says, Ezer Roik Tafel, Kol She'avar Lav Chatzos Laila, Ub'Shina. What is this cleansing agent? It needs to be that midnight passed, and he was sleeping. It has to do with sleeping. Sleeping is what causes the saliva to become more, astringent or more that it should cleanse. But we have a Mishnah. This is a Vahatanya. It's corrected. It's a Brisa. The Brisa says Yoshin Kalayim. If he slept the whole day, ain't a reik tafel. It doesn't. The saliva after that is not the cleansing agent. Near kalalayla, but if he was up all night, harez a reik tafel. So it has to do with the morning. It doesn't have to do with the sleeping. So the Gemara answers Hassan ben Misnamne. Just that we said that if he's up all night, in the morning it's considered reik tafel. It doesn't mean that he's really up. This is when he's dozing off. What's the word they use in English for misnamnim? They say dozing off? Dozing off. Hey, chidam misnamnim. What is the misnamnim? This is the Gemara Brachas. We'll have this again. Amar Ravashi says, nim v'lei nim. He's sleeping, but he's not sleeping. Tir v'lei tir. He's awake, but he's not awake. This is when the children like to ask for permission for something that you're not. They say,
the good hours.
Exactly. They catch you when you're not thinking. They, can I go to my friend for Shabbos? But you said the karuleva ane. If they call him, he responds. But he can't say anything logical. And then when you remind him, he remembers. So it's in this middle stage of in between sleep and that. So it really there is sleep there, and that's why it sounded right. Okay, Tana. It's taught in the Bais. Hishkim. Someone woke up early, Vashana Pirkei, and he learned his daf. Those days was a parak. They learned the parak of Mishnayos. A parak in the morning, parak in the evening. So he learned his daily schedule. Ain't a reik tafel. It's not considered reik tafel anymore. It's not considered this tasteless saliva. It's only in the morning. Va'ad kama, how much? Amar Rabbi Yehuda bar Shila, Amar Rav Ashi, Amar Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Yehuda bar Shila says in the name of Rav Ashi, in the name of Rabbi Lazar. There's a big gap over there between Rabbi Lazar and Rav Ashi and Rabbi Lazar. Kol sheyatzer reik dibur shel shalishos. Doesn't. I wish the Gemara would tell me how many words it is, but it says the amount of speech that a person would speak, average, in 3 hours. It doesn't tell me what it is. Okay. So that amount of time would remove the strength of the saliva. He spoke. That amount of speech would remove the strength. If he spoke that amount, so it wouldn't be strong enough to be used as a cleansing agent. Okay, may grisen, aliisas grisen shel pull. The second ingredient, second cleansing agent for these stains of blood, was the liquid that came from split beans. And the Mishnah explained that the beans were chewed. Aliisas grisen. Let us say that this is a proof to Reish Lakish. It's up here in early Eretz Yisrael Amira, Reish Lakish. The Amar Reish Lakish, the Reish Lakish says, Reik tafel tzarich sheyem kol echad ve'echad. Why do you have to chew it? Well, Reish Lakish holds that when we gave the first ingredient, the first agent, the cleansing agent, Reik tafel, this tasteless saliva, it actually means that you have to use the tasteless saliva together with each of the other ingredients. So when it says may grisen, what it means is that you have to have saliva together with it. And so when you chew it, that's the saliva that's with it. So we think that this is a proof, that the Mishnah is a proof to Reish Lakish. The Gemara says it's not a proof, because Dilma Havla de Puma Male. Maybe it doesn't mean that you have the saliva with it. Maybe it means that the reason why you chew it and not crush it in a mortar and pestle or whatever you need to do, maybe it's because the heat of the mouth affects the beans, and it's not the saliva that's in it that's necessary. Okay, so it's no proof. Masnisin Blake Rabbi Yehuda. The Mishnah, our Mishnah doesn't fit with Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda is always Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Eily. The Tanya was started in a Bais. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Make grisen reitayach va'oiver shitin l'teichem melach." What is the make grisen? The liquid from the beans. It's hot, and it's before you put the salt in. Now, I translated Va'iver as before. The Gemara asks, well, first the point of that is that you don't have to chew it. That's why we're saying it's not like Rabbi Yehuda, because Rabbi Yehuda he doesn't say that you have to chew it. It sounds like you don't have to chew it, and our Mishnah says you do have to chew it. But the Gemara asks, "My mashma the hay'over lishna da k'dumehu." How do you know that when it says va'over shitan l'teichem melach that it's before you put the salt? How do you know that over means first, before? Amar Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Damar Kra. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak says, this is the later Rav Nachman. He is under Rava, a student of Rava as well. He says it, quotes a pasuk. This is when it's the battle, and they tell Yoav that they see the Avshalom hanging with his hair from a tree, and killed Avshalom. And then David had already told him not to kill Avshalom. Be careful with the lad. Don't harm him. And Achimatz is going to tell David that Avshalom, his son, is killed. And Yoav says, "Don't sends the Kushi to go tell." And Achimatz runs in front. He goes ahead of the Kushi. So you see, Vayavar means to go before. Abaye Amar Mehacha. Abaye says that it's from here. V'hu avar lifneim. We had recently in the parsha that Yaakov sends the gifts and go to meet Esav, and he divides them up. And then Yaakov goes in front to bow down in front of Esav. He goes before them. We're looking at the word avar, and we're seeing in context where it means before. V'bayasema, and there's if you want, you could say, Vayavar Malkam Lifneim Hashem B'Reisham. The king goes before them, and Hashem is at their head. This is the prophecies in Micha. This Gemara is also in Psachim, where the Gemara is talking about Oiver Lasiyasan, that you always say a bracha before. Gemara asks, how do you know that Oiver means before? Whenever you do a mitzvah, you always say the bracha before him, except for Netilas Yadayim, you do afterwards. But because your hands are dirty, so you don't say the bracha before. The Rambam says differently. But so it's
for the first time ever do the bracha.
Right. So he did that's what the Rambam holds. To say Netilas Yadayim, and then you wash, just like you say the bracha on the tefillin, you put it on before you shake the lulav. You say the bracha. So the avar is the term for that in the Gemara is oiver lasiyasam. What does oiver mean? So this is the Gemara that quotes these three verses that says oiver means beforehand. Meiraglayim shechmitzu. The urine that was chmitzu means went sour, fermented. Tana kamachimutza. Taught in a brisa. More details than we have in the Mishnah. How long is the fermentation of the urine? 3 days. Amar Rabbi Yochanan says, Kol shiur chacham b'ksam tzarich shiur l'shiurin. All the measurements that the sages gave us when it comes to stains, we need measurements for the measurements. They left out so many details. It says, he gives examples. The Yeladay de Zakan.
No, it's not.
What's a cubit? I remember that. A child.
Give you something.
A child, or of an older person. What type of urine is this? The isha, a man or a woman. When you leave it for 3 days, do you leave it closed or do you leave it open? Is it in the warm weather or in the winter? Okay. We don't have an answer for that. But this may be part of the reason behind why we don't use it today, because we don't have answers for some of these. We asked, why don't we check if the stain is blood? We could check it, take the agents, we'll check each time we have the 7 agents. but it could be we can't do it because we don't have it accurate. We have questions. You have to rub it 3 times. Boy, Rabbi Yirmiyah, it's a classic. When you rub, so rubbing, you go like this. You rub. So is that when it says 3 times? Is that 1, 2, 3, 4? It will be 1, 2, 3, or is it 1, 2, 3? So how does it? It doesn't explain.
It should be complete. 3 times complete.
Oh, that's okay, so which way is complete? Is this complete or is this complete? Okay. The Rabbi Yirmiyah doesn't know the answer. He says teiku. We have to wait.
Very soon, very soon.
Yeah.
He's here.
Haviran shleika sidran. If you did it out of order, the Mishnah says it doesn't help. We had 7 agents. They have to be all done in order. So, Tanu Rabbanan, it was taught in the Bais, hiktim shniyim l'rishayim. If you did the second agents before the first one. So, the second one, Rashi says, is you started from the natron and the virus. What was the virus? The ice plant. You started from there instead of starting from the saliva and the water of the beans. You started in the middle, and then you went back. So Tanechada, one brisa taught Shniyim Alalai. The second ones are good, but Rishayim Lai Alalai, the first ones are not good. Why? Because you went back to the first ones. So the second ones are good. Because you did the first ones afterwards. Right. So what it means is that if you would then go back and do the second ones again, so let me say again. Which second? That's the confusion that we're going to have in the Gemara. Ooh. So yeah, who's on first? So here, let's say you have 7. All right, 7. So instead of doing it in order like that, you did it like this. So these ones, which are meant to be first, are now good. Those are good. You did them second. These were no good. All right. And then 3, 4. And then,
I get it.
So now what I do now is I go back and I do these again. So these counted because these I did.
Don't count. The second.
Second.
So it says.
Didn't the Mishnah tell us exactly that?
Yeah.
To be?
That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah. So it says, but if you did it out of order, now the Bais is telling us. If you did the first one, if you did what was supposed to be first, second, so that counts. If you then go back and do these, do these again. If you repeat them. So the first price is Shniyim Alalai Rishonim Layala. The problem is we have another price that says Rishonim Alalai Shniyim Layala. The first ones count, the second ones don't. So that's a little strange. Amar Abaya explains Idi Shniyim Alalai. Both prices agree that the second ones that you did count, and not the first ones that you did. Because the first ones that you did were out of order. My Rishayim, so what does it mean the first ones count? Rishayim L'Kasidran, the first ones of the Mishnah count. Vishniyim La'avarasim, you see the confusion that we just had while I'm explaining it, is the explanation for the 2 brises. When it says the second one, was second what? Second of the Mishnah, which was out of order, or second ones that you did, which was in order. Okay, we have a new Mishnah here. Kol isha sheyesh la vesas. Any woman that has a set cycle, we're going to see exactly what it means. But over here, it doesn't actually mean like of the month. Dayashaita. Dayashaita means that when she sees blood, it doesn't contaminate her retroactively, saying, well, she doesn't know when it came, maybe it came yesterday or something. Rather, Dayashaita, it's enough from the time that she sees it to be coming from them. The Eily vestis. The following are the vestis that we're referring to. Over here, the vestis is vestis haguf. They're occurrences, sensations that she has in her body that tell us when the onset is, when the beginning is. Mifahekas, as if she yawns. sometimes even when you mention yawn, everyone yawns. Suggestive. Okay, Umisateshes or sneezes. So first she yawns and then she sees the blood, or she sneezes and she sees the blood. V'chesheshes b'pikresa, or she feels something in her stomach. She pulling meya, that's her lower stomach. The shefas, and she has a flow. The Gemara's going to ask 1 second if she has a flow. So we're looking for the onset. So the problem is that the whole time that it's flowing, let's say 7 days, it says Mayana Pasua. So that's the onset, that's the beginning of it. So how's that going to work? We'll see in the Gemara. The Kamin Tzimar Murais, or some sort of shuddering overtakes her. And similarly, the Gemara always gets all worked up over whenever the Mishnah says anything like similarly. Like, what do you mean by that? Like, what are you referring to? And any etc. You have to and anything that was established 3 times. This is considered a vesis. Okay. Tanina Chadazimna. This is a problem. It was taught in the Mishnah already 1 time. Any woman that has a veses is dayashaita. It doesn't contaminate retroactively. So we have a Mishnah already that says that. Why do we need to say it twice? Mishnah, the Gemara learns the Mishnayos like the way we learn a pasuk. You said it already. You don't have to repeat it. The Gemara says, "Hasam bevestis the Yomi, hacha bevestis the gufa." That was talking about when she had a set cycle, the time of the month. So we don't say that it came yesterday. Rather, we say that it came on the day that it was supposed to come, exactly when it came. We don't say it came before because that's the cycle. Here, it's bevestis the gufa. It's a sensation that she has in her body of when it would be coming. Kidiktani, as it taught, Eily vestis. These are the vestis. If she's yawns to meateshes, or sneezes, or she has a sensation in her stomach, or lower stomach, shefas, in the flowing. Gemara says shefas, what are you talking about if there's flowing? She's flowing all 7 days, possibly, and all of those days is considered the veses. You can't say that. Amar ula breder Rabbi. It's an interesting confusion. Names. Amar ula breder Rabbi. Very similar to father and son. Yeah. You can do that for ear miles. We use the same initials. I should know. Amar ula breder Rabbi. Rabbi was an Amira in Eretz Yisrael. B'shefas dam tamei mitoich dam tar. No. Yeah, Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Lai, that's a Tana.
Yeah.
This is an Amira. Rabbi Yehuda Rabbi Lai was a student of Rabbi Akiva. Usually when we have Ula was the traveler. He would go back and forth and he would bring halachas from Rabbi Yirmiyah and Amiroim from Eretz Yisrael. But it doesn't say his father's name. I don't even know what his father's name is. Maybe this is Shefas dam tami mitoich dam tar. When we say shefas and flowing, and we say that's the beginning, the whole time that it's flowing, that's the beginning of it. So it doesn't make sense that the whole time should be the beginning. You can't have the beginning the whole time. So what we mean here is that first she sees blood, that's tahar. We don't mean dam tayar from a pregnancy. That's a confusing expression. Dam tayar here means that it's a blood that's not the right color. Then she gets the right color. So that's considered a veses. First she has a type of discharge that's going to be tahar, and then right after that she would get the dam that's coming. So we're on top of the samach gimel on the base. And if she has a type of shuddering, and then it says v'chenki yitzibem, and similarly, so the Gemara says lasuyimai. What are you including in that? Similarly, Amar Rabba Bar Ula says Coming to include, if a woman has, her head feels heavy, I guess a headache, or her limbs feel heavy, and she trembles. The Gaisa probably she burps. And all of that would be also sensations that if this is how she has the onset of her period with one of those sensations. So then, following month, she feels that sensation and she finds blood. We don't say that she's tamei beforehand. We say that she's tamei only from then. Because that's how it comes. Doesn't call them afreya. Amar Rav Huna bar Chia, Amar Shmuel. Rav Huna bar Chia says the name of Shmuel, Hari Yamru. The sages have said, Liyamim Shnayim. When it comes to veses of days, that means which day of the month. So that it takes 2 times to make a chazakah. Usually we would say a chazakah is 3 times. But we mentioned when we learned this before that it's actually a machlekes Rabbi and Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. No, the 4 comes in a different way.
4 is 3.
No, one says 2, the chazakah is twice. One says the chazakah is 3.
Gamliel says 4.
No, the reason why it should be 4 is if I have an interval. So look, you know, like the shin on your tefillin. So if I have 2,
Right.
I have 4 would mean, if an interval would mean the spaces in between. It takes 4 to get 3 intervals. But it's really 3. You know, one of the shins, you're looking at the inside.
Oh, so you're saying Rabbi says 2.
Sorry?
You're
So
saying
yeah,
Rabbi
so
says
Rabbi
2?
says actually 2. Shimon ben Gamliel says actually 3. And sometimes it's 4, but the 4 we'll learn tomorrow. We'll learn that to learn. No, we'll have it also today as well. Okay. So days is 2. That would be the opinion of Rabbi. Levestes. But when it comes to the veses, which means of the body, that means the sensations that we just mentioned, achas. Even if it happens once, it's already considered a chazakah. And the following time, we would say that it's dayashaita. It doesn't. She's not tamei retroactive. And for those that the sages have not told us about, other types of vestas, that's shleisha. That takes 3 times. What are the ones that the sages have not told us about? Rav Yosef says, "Lasuyi reisha covered alev, v'rek kvedim alev, v'reitetes, v'goisa." Her head feels heavy, her limbs feel heavy, she trembles, and she has this verb. Okay, problem is, Amalei Abaya responds to Rav Yosef, "Maika mashmalan masnisani." The Hapirsha Rabbi Barula. What are you telling me? That that what the sages didn't say are those of the head feeling heavy and the limbs feeling heavy. When you go back to the Mishnah, and the Mishnah says in anything similar, we didn't know what that meant. So Rabbi Barula told us that it means those cases of the head feeling heavy and the limbs feeling heavy and the trembling and the verb. So those were said in the Mishnah. They were said not specifically, but they were said in the etc. In anything similar. So how can you say that all of those that the sages didn't speak about is referring to those that they spoke about, not elaborated on, but that they mentioned? Abaya says something else. Because we're talking about not when she had a sensation. We're talking about the type of veses that last month when she ate garlic, and the month before that when she ate garlic, that's when her onset was. I'm sorry? Verasa. And she saw the blood. Or she chewed, she ate onions. Or kasisa pilpul in Verasa, she chewed on pepper. And she saw pepper. Those days meant the peppercorns, probably not peppers, but green peppers or something. And then she saw the blood. So that was not mentioned by the sages, and that would take 3 times. That was not in the Mishnah. In this woman, yes. So if she saw if three times it came together, then on the fourth time she won't be matamal and mafreya. Say, oh, this is exactly just to keep a diary of. So Rabbi Yosef says, I never heard this. That Shmuel says that days are 2 and vestas are 1. I never heard this. Amalei Abaya tells him, Atamrita Nalan, you told it to us. Now, what happened was
No, not Shmuel.
Rabbi Yosef,
One of them.
this is him. Rabbi Yosef forgot his learning. And Abaya, his student, would always remind him. And he would always say, what do you mean? You taught this to us, and you even said that this is, that you gave an explanation for it. And then he would remind him of the, Amrita Na'alan, and this is what you said about it. That if she's accustomed to seeing on the 15th, and she changed her cycle to the 20th. So the old one, which was the 15th, is Asr, because that's a chazaka. You have to wait 3 times to get rid of it. And the new one that she's creating now, you suspect to 1 time. So the 20th, you suspect to once until it's uprooted. But if she changes 3 times to the 20th, so she uprooted the 15th, and she's established the 20th. Because it takes 3 times for a woman to establish a vest. And you told us, and you said to us, this is Abaya telling Rabbi Yosef, that you commented on this, that Amar Rabbi Yudah Amar Shmuel, Sudivri Rabbi Gamliel bar Rabbi Shamir Mishum Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. This is Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi's son, that says in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel. See, Rabbi Yudah Nasi is here. Yes, we know of 2 sons, Rabbi Gamliel and Rabbi Shimon. So Rabbi Gamliel bar Rabbi says in the name of his grandfather, Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, not in the name of his father. His father would argue on this.
Father, the Son, and the Holy Grandfather.
Oh, wow.
I would have said something else.
Yeah, I do want to say.
But I knew this older chassid that he told me when he was younger. They used to sing the song, the Baal Shem Tov, the Mr. Shemagid and the Alter Rebbe, the Middle Rebbe, the Tzemach Tzedek, and the Rebbe Marash, and the Rebbe the Tata, and the Rebbe the Son. In his days, because the Rebbe Rashab was the Rebbe the father, and the son who became the Rebbe, the Frierdiker Rebbe. That's how his song went. Okay.
Quick question.
Yeah.
So all these things, the sneezing or whatever, this is a sign, a simon that the flow has begun,
That it's about to begin.
that it's about to begin. So it's the result of her condition. It's not that it's a cause. It's a result of her condition.
Yeah, we're not. I don't know if we're saying it's the cause. So far, all we're saying is
Maybe
Dayashai.
it's more like a sign that has
It's a simon. It's a simon that it's happening. Yeah.
in her case.
If she sneezes on
We
the
had-
15th of the month.
Right.
We learned before about a combination of if it's on the right day and she does these activities, if she did certain activities and it was combined together, both together on 15. Vesesli Yomim Mula Kvitzos. We had this combination. Here we're looking to say that the blood did not come any earlier than when it came. And so we're saying that because she had this sensation, we say that this is when it came, this is normally how it comes.
So it's just for establishing the best. It's not after that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything after 3 months. Right?
Doesn't mean that she has
Just
to.
to establish her reveals.
We're going to learn soon about the separation that's required. You're asking about, does this require the separation? It could be that it will, but if we haven't, you see, Achla Shum does. if she eats the garlic, that would be that's the similar to the Maisa that we had before. She does an activity and it's on the right day. Okay.
There's also we talk about things that cause her love.
Right.
She sees a monkey or something.
Right,
These
right.
weird things.
Right.
This isn't that.
Right. Well, I don't know. Okay, so but the sages say the sages say differently. Sages is the opinion of Rabbi. Let's say if she sees, she doesn't need to do it twice or three times. If you say she doesn't need to do it twice, then of course she doesn't need to do it three times. If the first time works. And you explain, this is Rabbi Yosef, explaining Lashanes means the vestes.
When is he explaining to what they told her what he said?
This is Abaya telling Rabbi Yosef
Oh.
that last time you explained it like this, that Lashanes, you don't need to do it twice, she doesn't need to do it twice to create a chazaka. That's referring to vestes of these sensations. That if it happens once, then that's the suspected, assumed time that it came. Even if it happens once, that means the second time it's already assumed that that's when it came. L'shalish, you don't have to do it twice. That's biyamim. That's referring to the time of the month. You don't have to do it three times. You only have to, no. You don't have to do it three times. You only have to do it twice. Only has to see it twice. That's already a chazaka, according to this opinion. We ask, why didn't the statement of Rabbi Yosef before, the statement of Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel say that this is the opinion of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel? Why do you have to tell us that this is the opinion of Rabbi Gamliel, the son of Rabbi, who said in the name of Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel? Kamashman is coming to tell us. Kamashman Shmuel is coming to tell us. The Rabbi Gamliel Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel's spirit. The Rabbi Gamliel, Rabbi's son, was like Rabbi Shimon ben Gamliel, like his grandfather. I'm not sure. I wonder what the significance of that is. Why do I care so much? Do they make a comment in the notes? It doesn't mean that Machlekes Rabbi and Reb Shimon ben Gamliel, I would have passed him like Reb Shimon. I would have passed him like Rabbi. But now that Rabbi Gamliel, his son, passed him, maybe I go after the Basra. Maybe that's what it means. But that doesn't make sense because we have a statement in the Gemara, except for three places. Allah is always like Reb Shimon ben Gamliel. We would have anyways said. And when we say halacha k'basra, most of the Rishonim learn the halacha is like the later opinion that it's only from Abai and Rabba onward, because we have a contradiction. It says if there's a machlekes teacher-student, the halacha is like the teacher. And if we have another rule that if there's a machlekes, you always go after the later one, which means that you would follow the student. So some of the Rishonim explain that it depends which era we're talking about. From Abai and Rava onward, it goes by the later one, and otherwise it goes teachers. It goes by the teacher.
If you have Tanaim, the Amoraim לא יכולים לחלוק עליהם.
Yeah, that's the way it's assumed that they can't argue.
Just say something different.
No, what he's saying is that Tanaim,
I know Tanaim always come for
that he's saying that the Amoraim can't argue on the Tanaim.
Right, but they came later. They can't change.
Right.
Was there Shimon
And
and
Shimon ben Gamliel is the grandfather.
Or was
Both.
Right.
Teacher and father. Sorry?
Shimon ben Gamliel was the grandfather.
The father of Rabbi, the grandfather of Rabbi Gamliel.
Yeah, so grandfather. Anyway, grandfather's before the son, the grandson. No?
Usually. No way. No
I-
way. It's hard to argue on that.
That was Nidda Daf.
Wow. It's I'm going to.
Read those.
Okay, the Mishnah says like this. If she's accustomed to seeing
This is the
at the beginning of the Vestas. That means that she has these sensations. Now, when she's having these sensations, she's yawning or sneezing, or when does it come during those sensations? At the beginning, or at the end, or in the middle, or before or after?
It wouldn't be
So-
sensation. They'd have to have a sensation first for it to have anything. Otherwise,
Right.
every time she sneezes, she's,
Well, it would need to be either a specific type, like a bunch of times,
like a 3-time sneeze or
yeah,
a 4-time
something
sneeze.
like that,
Yeah.
or it's at a certain time of the month that when she has.
That's the thing. Like
Right.
around the 12th, 13th of the month, say every time I go through, she starts this sneezing or this
Right.
coughing or
You're
whatever
right.
it is.
Yeah.
You're right.
If she has allergies, she's in trouble.
Then she's in trouble. That's the thing. And it's strange. It's a strange way to say, "Oh, this is the time."
Right.
You know?
Strange
It would
for
be-
the moment.
It would be more.
This is a picture, look at that.
It would be more
They broke the rules.
common if you would
I remember
attribute some sort of
seeing
cramps, or cramping, or
Right,
something like
right.
that. But that's what the Mishnah means. It means some sort of cramp that then says when the onset is. So if she's accustomed to saying at the beginning, then kolatar vestis tmeis. Then she sees blood later. Then we say that all the taharas that were throughout this fit of sneezing are all tamei, because we say that the blood came at the beginning, because that's when she normally sees the blood. But let's say it's the opposite, the seifa vestis. Let's say she has this fit of sneezing, and then at the end she then sees her blood normally. So then all the taharas that she was touching while she was, all the produce that's pure, is all going to be tar, because normally she sees the blood at the end. Rabbi Yosi says, "Af yamim v'shos vestis," that days and hours is also considered a vestis, and we're going to explain in the Mishnah what Rabbi Yosi means. Let's say she normally sees together with sunrise. Doesn't mean every day sunrise. It means once a month when she sees it's sunrise.
She have a regular time.
Let's say-
What's your race of ignorant?
Well,
You said it.
in the Mishnah,
Really?
it's usually there's Rabbi Yosi in the Mishnah. It's Rabbi Akiva.
Did they ever go to anytime they ever do this? Did he ever say like, "You tell us this"?
I think so.
Yeah. Or,
I think so. Like we had here. But you were the one that said,
but would they ever like take it back after?
oh, that
Like
I
in a
have to,
funny
that we
way?
have to follow. We'll have to look when we start brachas. We'll go through Shas looking for those examples. So if she usually sees with the Neitzachama, ein asur elam Neitzachama. She's only asur at the time of. She's only going to make things contaminated at that time. Or actually, ein asura means ein asura doesn't mean contaminated. Ein asura means she has to refrain from relations at that time. Neitzachama. Only at that time of when she's ein asura ella. Only. Ein asura ella. It's she's permitted only prohibited at that time. Rabbi Yehuda says kol hayayim shala. Rabbi Yehuda says no, the whole day. Now Rabbi Yosi says that we can look at a specific time on a clock, and Rabbi Yehuda says you have to look at a time on a calendar. Now, day or night, we'll see soon. But it sounds like kol hayayim. At least we know that it's a day. That it's what we call an aina is like 12. It's not really 12 hours. It's from sunrise to sunset, or sunset to sunrise. The Gemara says like this: Tana Ketzad Amar Rabbi Yosi Yomi v'Shos Vestis. How do we say that Rabbi Yosi says that days and hours is a vestis? Normally she sees from a 20-day interval. Or let's I don't know if it's 20 day or 20th of the month. And it's always on the 6th hour, which means always at noontime. If the 20th day comes and she doesn't see blood, she's prohibited to be with her husband. All the first 6 hours, that's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion. because he says it's the day, not the exact time. Rabbi Yossi says no, first 6 hours is permitted. She never sees before the 6th hour. But she has to suspect at the 6th hour. 6 hours pass, and she doesn't see it. So Rabbi Yehuda says the whole rest of the day is prohibited. Rabbi Yossi says no, from mincha and onward, which means after the 6th hour, from the 7th hour and on, she's going to be permitted. It didn't come.
It's an exact schedule.
According to Rabbi Yossi, it's exact. According to Rabbi Yehuda, it's a whole day. We'll see a little more in the next Gemara. If she's accustomed to seeing with the Netzachama, so then she's only also with the Netzachama according to Rabbi Yossi, and Rabbi Yehuda says the whole day. Tanya was taught in the Bais. Rabbi Yehuda says the whole night is hers. I mean, she's permitted at night. And here we said, how do they put it in English? What are they asking over there? Let's see. What's the problem? Because Rabbi Yehuda says that the whole day, it means that it's asr. Kol halayla shalah means the whole night is asr. It's hers. I would think that hers means permitted. But here, it must mean that it's a surah. The whole night is asr. Why did Rabbi Yehuda says the whole day is asr? Now he's saying in the Bais it says the whole night is asr. The Gemara answers like kasha. Had the regila b'tchila simama, had the regila b'spliris b'seif laila. Depends. I don't know. But in the Mishnah we said that.
It's your sunrise, the entire night.
Oh, you're right. You're right. It's not gonna. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. When the Mishnah said kol hayom shalah, that meant that the whole night was asr. Oh, so I have to go back to the Mishnah. I translated the Mishnah wrong. When the Mishnah says kol hayom shalah, her whole day is hers, because she was accustomed to sing with Netzachama, but that meant with sunrise. That meant that the whole night is prohibited, and the whole day is permitted, because she only saw before Netzachama. Now we're saying that the whole night is forbidden. So we're asking, before you said the whole night was prohibited, and now you're saying the whole night is permitted, Shalah. That it's permitted. It's permitted.
Right.
So the Gemara explains. Over there, it was talking about she would see at the beginning of the day, or in the Brisa, so that's why the whole night was permitted, because she would see by day, and the whole day is prohibited. There she would see at the end of the night, see sunrise. With sunrise means what? It means after sunrise or before sunrise. So it depends. If it was before, if it's normally before, so then the whole night is prohibited and the whole day is permitted. That's the Mishnah.
Remember Rabbi just said that the whole day?
Yeah.
Like, there's always those questions, like, when, like, it was, like, right, like, 11:59. But what would he say? Would he say, like, all of that after? He's saying it's, like, does
In
it
other
mean,
words,
like, a
if it's
12-hour
exactly-
difference around it?
Yeah, it means not a 12-hour
Or
difference.
around.
There isn't one of the opinion Rishonim that says that, but we don't go like that. The way we understand Rabbi Yehuda is that it's from sunrise to sunset, or sunset to sunrise.
So if it's,
So if it's
literally-
exactly on the time, so then I think we assume that it's the one in the morning. I guess
Probably the one you're going into.
Yeah, is that what it is? I forget. I remember there was a Sefer Eshkol, but I have to look it up. If you see exact, what is it? The one before or the one after? I don't remember what it says. Okay, so Tani Chada, one brisa says Rabbi Yehuda Oisra Lifnei Vesta, Matir Lacha Vesta. One says that she's prohibited before the vest, but she's permitted afterwards. The Tani Yidach, the other brisa says Oisra Lacha Vesta, Matir Lifnei Vesta, that she's prohibited afterwards and she's permitted before. The Gemara explains this contradiction. It depends. If she was accustomed to sing at the end of the night, then she's going to be permitted afterwards and prohibited before. But if she sees at the beginning of the day, then she's going to be prohibited after and permitted before. Right. Amar Rava. Rava says halachic Rabbi Yehuda. Halachic like Rabbi Yehuda. Amar Rava Hachi. Did Rava really say so? That the whole day is it's going to be Aser Vatanya. It says that. Did Rava say that that's it? That's the question. Vatanya, but it was started in the Bais of his heart, and it's finished only to Muslim. You have to warn the Jewish people from being contaminated. What does that mean? Mikanam Rabbi Yirmiyah, Sar Lebnei Yisrael, Shipshim, the same Samach Levestan, that they have to separate from their wives around the time Samach, around the time of the expected, anticipated onset. Bekama, and how much should they separate? Amar Rava Aina. Rava says that it means an Aina, which we say is a 12-hour sunrise to sunset. My lav Aina Achriti. It must mean Samach Levestan and an extra Aina. That if you see by day, you probably have to separate from the night before, which is an extra Aina. Gemara says Lai Isa Aina. Means just that day. Gemara says V'taiti Lamali. Then why does this have to be said twice? That Rabbi says that you have to separate an Aina, and he also says the halacha is like Rabbi Yehuda. That's the same thing. Gemara says Stricha. If it would only said this, it would have only thought that she has to separate when it comes to taris, using things of truma and all of that. But would say not for the husband. That would be our Mishnah. Kamash Malan comes to tell me that even for the husband, if it was only for that one, samach levesta. I would have thought samach levesta means around the time, which could mean more. Aina achriti, an extra aina. Kamash Malan. So therefore he says Isa aina, that it's Rabbi Yehuda's opinion, and that it's only one aina in total that they have to separate. Let's leave it over here.
Oh, yeah. Big day for drawings. Wow. Anyway, figure out this.
I don't know Android. I don't know why you're not saying.